Yes. Yes.
Oh, that was a long delay.
Well, that's because perhaps it's Sunday morning and everyone is doing.
Church. Yeah, maybe. Okay, now let's see. How do I get into? Church. You're feeling a little deja vu?
Yep.
Okay, let's see here.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Good.
Hello,
How about
Deb.
yourself?
How are you?
Good. Good.
There's a very long delay. Hello, Deb.
Hi.
I am viewing you on YouTube right now.
Cool. I know I look, the same.
You what?
It's me, wherever I am.
You
You
get
look
around.
You look far more awake than I do.
Well, I've had,
I think I'm going to have to get out of here, but you look wonderful. Don't worry about it.
uh-oh, here comes a call. I'll be right there. It's my mother-in-law.
See how long the delay is?
Gosh.
Uh-oh. Okay, this was supposed to be a single click, and it isn't.
Well, good morning.
Good morning,
Morning,
Scott.
Scott.
How you doing?
Everything's good. I sleep a little bit later on Sundays. It's nice.
I like it too, but this morning, 5:58, ping, I'm like awake.
Yeah, well, that's true. I don't mean sleep, but at least, get some things done. Exercise some,
Yeah.
before the minyan, get on the cross trainer over there. So just stuff like that. You can get it done.
Exactly.
I'm excited to say I have ice this morning. Our ice machine died last night as I was going to get on for Delio. So we had to go to Lowe's and get new filter and stuff. But I have ice this morning.
Oh, so that's what you had to do instead of do the sleep coat?
Yeah,
Go to Lowe's instead.
yeah.
Mm.
Sometimes, the husband doesn't want to do it by himself. So
Well, Well, that'll be a Saturday night to remember, I'm sure.
Yeah. Warm lemonade.
Did you guys go?
I had a problem at the house, so I was unable to get on, but I had registered.
Scott, were you at the Salicho program?
I was on for some of it. I was, checking out. There were some other Slicho things too. There were, we had one at our synagogue, and so I mean, I did go on it, and it was beautiful. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
they did a good job.
They did. It was beautiful, beautiful chanting. It really was. I'm sure more people went this year than have ever gone before. That was the greatest thing about it.
I think
They had 6,000 registered for this one program.
Wow,
Golly.
I'm sure it was more people went to Slicho this year than ever before.
Yeah, we had a lot more to atone for.
Right.
Hey, did you know that Joe
House
Biden
banana.
took drugs before his debates?
Oh, I can't.
That's what the president said last night.
Machne Zedim, Machne Zedim.
If it was on the internet, you never know.
No, I heard it from his mouth.
Oh,
I heard it too this morning. It was upsetting.
I didn't listen.
It's interesting though. I don't know that I want to talk so much on the YouTube.
Ay.
Sorry.
Bad.
Feel so exposed.
Call Jeff Gould, Noble.
Calling.
The Karatkins volunteered their home as a pickup spot, but they said, the problem is we're real close to the Cardinals.
Yeah, they are right around the corner, and the Cardins is easier, much easier.
Yeah.
The Cardins is a perfect house for that. They live like at the end of a cul-de-sac, and they have a big field that could fit like 4 other houses. It's so big. So, and a huge veranda that's covered. So it's perfect.
Who's that?
Elise and David Cardin.
Oh,
They bought the old farmhouse next to Tony and Steve's on the end of Harris there.
oh, I didn't know that.
Excuse me a second, I'll be right back.
The white farmhouse that right in the field.
I'll be
That
done.
funny sculpture that's always been there.
Wow, that's nice.
And what they have done to that house, because Peter and I actually looked at that house when it was for sale. We thought about moving there, but it needed so much work.
I like your house.
We love our house. I mean, can you believe it, Barbara? This November, we will have been here 25 years.
Mm.
We,
I'm 52 years
I'm
old.
so
That's like my life, half of my life.
Miss Barbara, it's so good to see you again. I see you got your computer fixed.
Yep, thank you. I just have to learn how to do it.
We
Did
had
you
a
go
big,
on last night to the Schlicker?
I had a problem at the house. We had to go out and get it
Yeah.
fixed, so I missed it.
I enjoyed what I did. Yeah.
great.
Scott, did you go on?
I went on for part of it. I went on for several different ones,
Yeah.
but I did see it. It was the chanting was beautiful. There's this synagogue in New York, was Conservative Synagogue BJ, B'nai Yeshua, which I go on sometimes. They had a beautiful one. They're on the west side of Manhattan. They're just terrific. Their clergy and their music. It's just so first class. It's wonderful. And again, up in Charlottesville, we had our own also. Our rabbis did. So it was. I did a little bit of going around. We had Havdalah first here and some things for the family programming. So I sampled around, but I did do it. I signed up for it and I did get on it, and it was very moving. Beautiful chanting, voices. So I'm not sure how long it went on because, like I said, I switched around. I went up to that one in New York.
Uh-huh.
After all, which I mean, that is the most wonderful. That's a wonderful synagogue
I have
up
to
there.
try next year.
And
Yeah, I went on. They had there are a lot of Bethel temples around the country. 'Cause
Yeah, they
some
do.
rabbis
Oh,
were
that's
from
funny.
Bethel.
That's plenty of Bethel. That's why the website's got to be Bethel Norfolk, Bethel
Yeah.
Norfolk.org. So you have to. If you do Bethel.org, you forget it. They're all over the world.
all over.
This, you have to,
Rabbi search committee, over the last couple years, whenever I'm
Yeah.
emailing the rabbis, I have
Right.
found that when my subject line is always, unless we're really talking, but in the first few emails back and forth, the subject line is Congregation Bethel, Norfolk, Virginia.
Right. You have to.
And
You
one
have
of them held a book up and said, "This is from my mentor, Dove Peretz Elkins." Did you remember him? He's our rabbi.
So I have to
Many years
tell you,
ago.
Barbara, Dove was my camp rabbi.
Ah,
When I went to all those like BBYO camps and
Mhm.
stuff, he was the camp rabbi, and I loved him. And because I grew up in Temple, Israel, I remember one morning, could have been Michelle, so I don't know, somebody's bar bat mitzvah
not Michelle.
at Bethel, and I walked in and I was like, Dove. Well, you can imagine my mom gave me such a talking to that I walked into the shul and addressed the rabbi by his first. I was in big trouble, but he didn't want me to be. He was my camp rabbi. We did services in the woods. I mean, that's how I remember him.
I thought you were gonna say you all went skinny dipping together at camp, all that.
I was the child and he was the adult, and it was very appropriate.
No, but that's what happens. That's what happens at camp. I went to camp, and that's what we did. So
Okay, well, I did not do that with my.
Where'd you go? What camp? Scott, what?
I was up in Camp Oxford, Camp Guilford, up in New York.
Hmm.
I was up near Binghamton.
Oh, uh-huh.
We're one short for a minyan now.
Aw.
Rabbi, I've got a friend that's going to link on in about a minute.
Okay.
Jeff is
Who said
on.
that?
Eric's here.
He is on, Eric. Jeff is on. See, Jeff is
Well-
on.
Jeff, don't you have Jen with you?
Oh.
Oh, we need Jen's help?
Yeah.
I guess everybody's tired from last night.
Where did I put that? What was it?
The Gordon family and friends.
Yeah.
I need your help. I have to go get the.
Is this the York?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, then as long as we're just one short, we'll start.
I think we're there.
Page 6. I'll ask for volunteers before I pressure someone.
I would do it.
Davin,
I would do it.
you'll do it?
I'll do it. I'll defer to anyone that else wants to do it, but I'll be happy to do it.
We'd love for you to do
Well,
it.
we'd be happy to have you do it,
Do it.
or at least I would be.
Honored.
I will be very happy to do it.
It's up to me, Scott.
Page 6. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasek bi bidol hakim be'im u'bein laila. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorim. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ibrim. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam abish arumim. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shor salikat sarki. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam avichi yitzadei aver. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'guraha. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifaraha. Baruch
Amen.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanotein la yorev koach.
Amen.
Udneinu hayom v'chol yom lakeinu chesed v'rachamim be'einecha u'b'necha ro'einu v'tigvalenu chasadim tovim Baruch atah Adonai gomer chasadim tovim be'amo Yisrael. Aval anachnu ha'makarim. Ashreinu matov chalkeinu u'manayim gorolenu u'mayafa Yerushaltenu. Ashreinu sha'anachnu mashkimim u'ma'arivim erev v'boker v'yomrim pamayim v'chol yom. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai echad. Kadesh Shimcha, Amakti Shemecha, Vakadesh Shimcha, Olamecha, Ubishi Okha, Tarim, Vatagbi, Akonenu, Barakata Adonai, Vakadesh Shimcha, Barabihim.
We have a minyan, so we continue on pages 9 to 12 with our choice of sections of rabbinic writing to study.
Page 12. Yehi Rotzo Mifanecha Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Shetitach Halkeinu B'Torah V'niyem Et Talmidav Shalah Haron HaKohen Ohev Shalom V'Rodev Shalom Ohev Et Habariot Karon LaTorah.
Amen. We turn to page 13 for the Kaddish to Rabbanan, the scholars Kaddish. And since all of us have studied this morning, we are all considered scholars, so we read it together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'amad dibrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shemei rabbah mevarach la'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha barichu. Le'ela min kol birkata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran ba'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shalom Yisrael v'al Diva atra hadem v'diva chol atar v'atar. Yehi lahon u'lachon shlama rabba. China v'chista v'rachamim v'chayin arichi. V'mizon hadam Shemaya v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min Shemaya v'chayin tovim aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu b'rachamav yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. There's more shir Chanukah Habayit L'David.
Hafachta mispedilo choli pitachto saki v'razreni simcha ala ma'an yizarmecha v'chavo v'lo yidom Adonai Elohai Olam Odeka.
Mourners Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Dibrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kari v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Yehi
Shemei
Shalom v'varach v'olam u'me'omeh.
Amen.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran ba'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Baruch She'amar, page 16.
Ya chi kei olamim melech mashiborchon v'or adei achimo hagadaho baruch atah Adonai melech mahalol bati yishbachavo ashrei
21.
Yehavelucha Selah ashrei Amshakacha Ashrei Shalom Yilo Ledavi. V'hilav sanu lo yedaber pi v'yivarech kol b'son Shem kodsho le'olam va'ed va'anachnu le'varech yom yatzav v'yad olam hallelujah.
Continue on page 25.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Tiltale Shama, hallelujah, Tiltale Shalua, Kohan Shama, hallelujah, hallelujah, Kohan Shama, hallelujah, hallelujah. 29. Yit Barak, Shim Kala, Ad Malkenu. Barakot, Bahoda Op, Yatavi Alam, Barakata, Adonai, Amalakadom, Batik, Bakon, Elahoda Ot, Adon Ladifla Ot, Habakim, Shibi, Zibra, Melakakeha, Ola Mihim, Yakadav, Yakadash, May Rabab, Yamona,
Amen.
Tebaka, Yakoda, Mekola, Fagan, Hope Israel, Magalavis, Makoriv, Imruhu, Amen.
Amen.
Yahesh, May Rabab, Barak, Lamaya,
Maya Ibra.
Yes, for Arvis, Ravi, yes, Nasay, yes, Darvis, Alavis, Alash, Medical Shah, Reku, Lamiko, Bekata, Shibata, Tishbakata, Nakamata, Dami, Randioma, the Imru, Ahame, Baruchu, et Adonai, Hambara,
Baruch Adonai Barak Le'olam Va'ed.
and Barakata, Adonai, Lahina Malakolam, Yotzer, over Koshek, Osa Shalom, et Hakol. Kulam ahuvim, kulam berurim, kulam giborim, v'kulam osim, ve'emor v'yar, v'tzon kodam, v'kulam piklimet, v'hem b'kusha, v'tahara, v'shira, ubzim, ra, v'rachim, v'shavakim, v'farim, v'ma'ritzim, v'makdishim, v'maham lichim, shema
Et
elam,
Shem Ha'elam Ha'elam.
v'kulam makablim, aleihem al malchut, shamayim zemizeh, v'notim reshut zelazeh, Hagdish Yosra Makat Ruach, V'sifal Guru, Yvakadosha, Kulam Ke'akad, Odim B'yom Brihim, Year,
Kadosh 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 Ha'etzvah V'lachol Haaretz Kavodo.
Bahavanim, V'chayot HaKodesh, V'ashkadol, Mit Nasim, Lumat Serafim, Lu'umatam Shavkim V'yomrim.
Baruch
Baruch Adonai Yisrael, Mola El Baruch Nimot Yitenu, Amelach HaVekayam. Achadash Ati Anta, Bir V'Nizkechel Mahirula, Oro Baruch Ata Adonai Yotzeher Hama Ahorot, Ahava Rabba Eloheinu. V'haviyinu l'shalom yabakam foto aretz v'tolakim kamiyot liyatzenu ki elpo yeshuot ata uvan l'karta mekav l'sham v'kei rav tana l'shem plagado sela be'emet l'hodot l'chol yachad kol yahava baruch ata Adonai haboker Yisrael v'yahava.
Shema, page 33.
Shema Yisrael Adonai
Adonai
Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol lavcha v'b'kol nefshecha v'b'kol yodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayahom alavavecha v'shiratam levanecha v'dibaharta bam v'shiftecha b'beitecha uv'lechacha v'aderech uv'shoklecha uv'tumecha uv'shartam li'od ad yadecha v'hayulatat bein edecha uv'kavtam al mezuzot beitecha v'yisharecha. V'hayim Shema. Adonai Elohechem Emet. David Ahu Kayam Mushmo Kayam Bachis Elochon Makoto Menotola Akayam Mehet. Emet Atahu Hanoi Elohim Elohim Avotenu Makina Melaka Avotenu Go Alena Gwela Avotenu Yotrenu to Yeshua Tenu Hodenu Matilame Elam Shemecha Ein Elohim Zulahatecha Ezran Avotenu Adahume Olam. So he loved the Ella Yom Baruch Baruch Moshe Ebene Israel Chanu She Robinson Karabav Yom Baruch Hulam Mika Mocha Ba'elim Adonai Mika Mocha Nedabat Kodesh no one thing Lodo Say Bele Shira Kadosha Shifu Uli Mashimka Asafat Hayan Yachak Kulam Hodu Kuv Yom Ru Adonai Love Yisrael to Yisrael Kumobi Yisrael Yisrael Ubedechil Mecha Yehuda Yisrael Go Alek Anointed Ot Shema Kadosh Yisrael Baruch Ata Adonai Go Al Yisrael.
We rise now for the Amidah, page 36b, and we will start together through the Kedusha.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah El Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanara El Yahon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Umevi Goel Lifnei V'Nehem L'man Shemo V'Yahava Melech Ozer Fokei Mashiach Mogain Baruch Ata Adonai Mogain Abraham V'Kei Sarah Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayim Etim Atorav Lahoshia Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayim Etim B'Rakamim Rabim. So make no flame, Rupei Cholim Matira Surim Kayim Emun Atoli Shenei Alpha Micha Mocha Ba'agu B'Rod Umido Melach Melech Me'Mido Machayim Masmiach Yeshua V'Nem Anatalach Hayot Meitim Baruch Ata Adonai Mechayei HaMeitim.
Kadesh Shimcha Balam Kashim Shemak Shima Tu B'Shmei Maram Kakafi Vayad V'Yachal Karzel Zev Amar.
Mekadesh Yeshua Krava Olaf B'Shem Shemak Yishim Oto B'Shmei Maram Kakatu Vayad V'Yachal Karzel Zev Amar.
Kadosh Kadosh Adonai Tzva'ot Malach Ha'aretz Kivodo.
Kadosh Kadosh Adonai Tzva'ot Malach Ha'aretz Kivodo L'Motam Baruch Yomeru.
Kavod Adonai
Kavod Adonai Mimkomaho Divrei Kochel Chaka Tuble More. Hallelujah, hallelujah, give God lecha. Only Tzaka Tzokim Rushaka Nagdish. V'Shiv Chacha Eloheinu Mipilo Yomushti Elam Va'ed. Ki Yamelech Adov Kadosh Ata Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Oseh Shalom B'Mamav Hu Yaseh Shalom Olenu V'Yakol Yisrael V'Imru. Amen.
Amen.
Yiskadal V'Yiskadal Shebei Rabbav V'Yomari V'Yomari Tzevach Hayekol V'Mechol Hayirachol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala V'Yizman Kari V'Imru.
Amen.
Amen. Yehei Shvei Rabba Mevorach Yom Yisborach. Yisborach, Yishtabach, Yisbar, Yisrab, Yisnaseh, Yisadar, Yisalam, Yisalash, Benkunika, Elam, Kodakata, Shivata, Tishmakata, Nakamata, Damiran, Be Alma, Imruhu. Amen.
Before I either volunteer myself or ask Deb to do the closing prayers, I'd like to share with you a story that I was going to use on the High Holy Days, but because we're having a much shorter service and time is very important to the psyches of everyone who will be at services. And just to remind everyone, it was Akiva Agar who in 1831 said, you have to shorten your Rosh Hashanah services to no more than 5 hours, which was a shock to me because I'd never been to a Rosh Hashanah service that took more than 5 hours. Once two friends were traveling together in the desert. At some point in the trip, the two began to argue. Then the first one slapped his partner. The victim did not defend himself, but instead wrote in the sand, "Today, my best friend gave me a slap." The days passed and two friends continued on their journey. They came to an oasis and decided to bathe in the spring. The man who had been slapped began to drown, but his friend threw himself into the water and rescued him. The man was grateful and he took his knife and began to carve in a stone, "Today, my best friend saved my life." Now the first friend was really intrigued, so he asked his friend, "Why did you write in the sand when I slapped you? But now that I rescued you, you carved it in stone." The second friend answered and smiled. "When someone offends me, I try to write it in the sand where the marks are easily erased by the winds of forgiveness. When someone does something good for me, I prefer to leave it engraved in the stone so that I can never forget. So memory will remind me that I should be grateful." As we approach Rosh Hashanah, less than a week away. What?
I want to use that. Somebody got to send it to.
My wife is using all these stories that I've taken out of the service in other contexts. So remember that if someone does something to offend you, give it a chance to disappear and to grant your forgiveness quickly. But if someone does you a good turn, remember it forever, because that person truly is a good friend. We continue now with the Ashrei. Deb, would you like to close?
I mean, sure, I'm a little emotional after all that, but yes. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha od yahalucha salam.
Hashem Sheshu Hashem.
Miladana ידבר פיו, ויברכו בשור שם קדשו לעולם ועד, ואנחנו נברך ים את אביעד עולם, הללויה. וננצח מזמור. המה קרב ונפלו, ואנחנו קמנו ונתעודד, אדוני הושיע המלך יעננו ויום קראנו.
Page 80.
ויפתחו בך יודע שמך, כי לא עזבת דורשך אדוני, אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, יגדיר תורה וידיר.
Aleinu, Kaddish Shalom, page 82.
יקדל ויקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
מה דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה וזמן קריב ימרו. אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם לעולמי עלמי. Barach v'yishtabach v'yibar v'yitraman v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha b'richa le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata lamiram v'yama v'yimeru. Amen.
Amen.
תקבל צלוחון ובדהון דכל ישראל קדם אבהון דבשמיא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Amen. Now we rise for Elena.
עלינו לשבח לאדוני כל ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
And does Judy, you have the daily prayer book at home?
Yes,
Page 85, would you lead us in the Psalm for Sunday?
yes, 85, yes. Psalm of David. The earth and its grandeur belong to Adonai, the world and its inhabitants. God founded it upon the seas and set it firm upon flowing waters.
Who may ascend the mountain of
May
Adonai?
rise in God's
May rise
sanctuary.
in God's sanctuary.
One who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not used God's name in false oath, and nor sworn deceitfully, shall receive a blessing from Adonai, a just reward from the God of deliverance.
Such are the people who
People who
seek God,
seek God.
who long for the presence of Jacob's deity.
Lift high your lintels, O you gates. Open wide, you ancient doors. Welcome the glorious sovereign.
Who is the
Who is the
glorious?
glorious sovereign, Adonai, triumphant and mighty, Adonai, triumphant in battle.
Lift high your lintels, O you gates. Open wide, you ancient doors. Welcome the glorious sovereign.
Who is the glorious sovereign? Adonai Tzvaot is the glorious sovereign.
Mihuze melech hakavod. Adonai tzvaot hu melech hakavod selah.
And we turn now to page 92. Barbara, do you have a daily prayer book at home? Could you turn to page 92 and lead us in the psalm for the penitential period of Elul?
And unmute.
And unmute.
Is that the one, 92, page 92?
Yes, ma'am.
Adonai is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? Adonai is the strength of my life. Whom shall I dread?
When evildoers draw near to slander me, when foes threaten, they stumble and fall. Though armies be arrayed against me, I have no fear. Though wars threaten, I remain steadfast in my faith.
One thing I ask of Adonai, for this I yearn, to dwell in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, to behold God's beauty, to pray in God's sanctuary.
Hiding me
in the shrine,
safe from peril. God will shelter me beyond the reach of disaster and raise my head high above my enemies.
I will bring God offerings with shouts of joy, singing, chanting, praising in Adonai.
Adonai, hear my voice when I call. Be gracious to me and answer. It is you whom I seek, says my heart. It is your presence that I seek, Adonai.
Do not hide from me. Do not reject your servant. You have always been my help. Do not abandon me. Forsake me not, my God of deliverance.
Though my father and my mother leave me, Adonai will care for me. Teach me your way, Adonai. Guide me on the right. Oops, sorry.
Though my father and my mother leave me, Adonai will care for me. Teach me your way, Adonai. Guide me on the right path to confound my oppressors.
Do not
Do not
abandon me
abandon me
to
to the
the
will of my
foe,
foes,
for false
for false
witnesses
witnesses
have risen
have risen
against me,
against me,
purveyors of
malice
malice and
and
lies.
lies.
Yet I have faith that I shall surely see Adonai's goodness in the land of the living. Hope in Adonai. Be strong, take courage, and hope in Adonai.
Lulei amanti l'ro b'tuv Adonai be'eretz chayim kaveh el Adonai chazak v'yametz libecha v'kaveh el Adonai. The Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 100, and your sites for today, September 13th, are Hyman Alec, Irvin Friedman, Florence Gordon, Sonia Lockman, Marcella Levy, David Lindsay, Jack Morgenstein, Jenny Pear, Joyce Polis, and Samuel Silverman. We rise for the Mourner's Kaddish, all of us who are reciting Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah,
And
divrach v'rutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman hari v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shemei rabbah mevarach la'olam omeomaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata v'amiran ba'alma v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Says shalom b'mramav, huya says shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for being here today. I'm not there yet. Let me finish making the announcements.
Oh, will Debbie blow the shofar?
Yeah, but I'm trying to make the announcements before everyone runs away. Monday evening, tomorrow night, we have our next speaker who will be talking about seeking repentance and observing the holidays during an era of COVID, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it's Ellen Rosenblum, and not only is she a multi-generational member of our congregation, but she is serving as the president of the Jewish Family Service right now. So, she's seen firsthand so many of the needs of the community from this period, and will share with us.
Right, and if you enjoyed that reading I gave you today, every day that I'm leading the morning minyan, I will add one into the service when we're not reading Torah, just to try to add a little moment of preparation for what's coming next Friday night. Are you all ready for Rosh Hashanah next Friday night? You all know where you're going to go for services?
Yes.
I want to make a suggestion to you that you may not like. For Rosh Hashanah, when you go to services, don't jump from service to service to see what different services are like. You're better off going to a different service each day rather than jumping in between them in the middle, because you may miss parts of the service that you really want to hear. So with that, let's see, who was going to sound the shofar today? I can't because I'm in my apartment. Oh, Deb, would you mind? And please remember to prepare for the mega food drive between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We hope to collect enough food to give substantial goods to the JFS food pantry, to the food pantry of the city of Charlotte, of Norfolk and Virginia Beach, and to provide food to the New Life Church food kitchen in Kempville.
You can take the rabbi out of Charlotte, but you can't take the Charlotte out of the rabbi.
Did you hear what we said?
Yes.
Where do we take it? Where do we take it? Or where do we take the food to?
Oh, it depends where you live. Okay, so if you're in Norfolk, you can bring it either to the temple at the beginning of the week. I'm still looking for 1 or 2 more places in Virginia Beach, one up by the ocean, at where you'll be able to bring it on a certain day. And I will be at that location as well with a shofar to sound the shofar for everyone and to help transport the food back to Bethel. But we have a location in Little Neck. As I said, we're looking for something at the beach. We have the Hour Box here in Ghent. I'm sorry?
It's not Ghent, it's actually by DePaul, River Point.
Oh, I'm sorry, River Point, by where you live.
Right.
Okay, I'm terribly sorry. And of course, we'll be collecting at the synagogue also. You just have to, we'll give you the times for when the synagogue will have someone there to accept the foods for us all. So thank you all very much in advance. And I hope that this coming year will be a great year for all of us, and that the difficulties we've been facing for so long will not last the entire year as harshly as they have lasted until now. Have a great
Rabbi,
day, a great week. Yes, were you going to say?
can I meet you at the shul this morning?
Yes, I am going to go over to the synagogue. What time do you want to be there?
I have to go and I'm going to go get the big van so I can just take it all at once. So I need a little time. So,
Okay, I'll go over there to teach the school from my office, and you just call me when you get there,
okay, thank you.
right?
So like within
good.
an hour kind of thing. Is that good?
That's
Like in an
fine.
hour? So, okay, thank you.
All right. Have a good,
Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great day. See you this evening.
Thank you.
bye-bye. 5:45. Shavua tov.